All right, everybody, this is yet another edition of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And coming up, I talk about Rey Mysterio's suspension, Buff Bagwell's car accident, recap Raw, SmackDown, and Impact, and I make my predictions for Extreme Rules. All that and more coming up. Stay tuned. I'll be live in a matter of moments. It's a busy night to be a sports fan overall. Of course, Impact, new episode, beginning a new era. You got NHL playoffs. You got the NFL draft. Not much of a hockey fan. I am a football fan, and I do have the NFL draft on the DVR. I actually got it on my TV right now. It's on mute. So not much going on there. But I am focusing particularly on the wrestling show. I will focus on the NFL draft when the clock hits 9 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, that's 9 o'clock my time anyway. So here we go. Alright, and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on itmiradio.com. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio is part of the ITMI Radio Network and Chillin' Broadcasting Network. So busy Thursday night in the world of sports. But on this particular show, we talk all things wrestling. My name is Kenny C, and thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in. I feel like I'm in podcast mood rather than live. But it's all good. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get into the first topic here. I'm going to get to the WWE side of the show. I'm not sure if my special guest, Auburn Thunder, will be calling in or not. There's been some family passings on her end, and she's dealing with that. And not to mention, it is her daughter's birthday, so it's up and down right now. But I should find out from Auburn via Facebook if she's going to call in or not. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. I want to go ahead and get into the first topic here. In case you haven't heard the big story of the WWE, Rey Mysterio has been suspended by the WWE for 60 days, effective immediately, on this Thursday, April 26th. Now, they won't reveal what was in the drug test that he failed on, what drug was he was on, but Rey Mysterio is suspended. This is his second violation of the Talent Wellness Program. I think he failed a drug test about 3 years ago, so this is his second. And WWE takes this drug testing real seriously. Say what you want about WWE, but they don't want druggies. They don't want drug people on there anywhere near the wrestling ring. They don't want to go through all that. So I give WWE a lot of credit for doing this drug testing. I don't know how they do it. I think it's random testing. I'm sure every single wrestler, male and female, all the performers that do wrestle are drug tested. Maybe multiple times, 2-3 times a year. Don't matter if they're wrestling here in America or overseas, you will be drug tested. And if you fail, you will be suspended. The first penalty, the first violation is 30 days suspension. The second violation is 60 days. The third violation is an automatic termination of your contract. So Rey Mysterio is just like Evan Bourne. Both men on thin ice. Evan Bourne's second suspension should be done by now. It's definitely done after WrestleMania. So he's probably doing dark matches on house shows. Or probably doing dark matches prior to live shows. Which is why you still haven't seen Evan Bourne on TV shows. So, and let's not forget, Rey Mysterio is good friends with the late Eddie Guerrero, who passed away because of substance abuse. Rey Mysterio is a great wrestler. There's no doubt about it. Rey Mysterio is, I would say, the greatest underdog in WWE history. Hey Fozzy, what's up? Rey Mysterio is the greatest underdog I've ever seen. I've been a fan of Rey Mysterio since WCW. He's a great wrestler and a great human being, but unfortunately he had a relapse, and it's causing him 60 days of his WWE career. And I actually counted. I went into the calendar to see how long he's going to be gone. Did you not know that Rey Mysterio won't be eligible to compete until June 25th? That happens to be my birthday. That's on a Monday night. 60 days beginning right now on Thursday, April 26th. He better not get another one. Because if he does, his WWE career is done. WWE is like the only major company that has a drug testing. TNA don't have one. Ring of Honor don't have one. And a lot of indie pro wrestling shows don't have drug testing. Rey Mysterio, for what I have seen, he's fully healed. And he's ready to compete. He recovered from the injury. He should be healthy by now. By watching him on WWE.com, seeing him walk, he's fully healthy, and he is clear, and he was clear to compete. It's just a matter of when was it going to be the right time for him to get out there. He's recovered. He should be recovered from an injury by now. It's been almost half of a year since he last competed. So yeah, Rey Mysterio is fully healthy. He should be good to compete by now. But because of the suspension, he's gonna have to wait 60 more days. He's gonna have to wait until my birthday, June 25th. That is when his suspension ends. That's actually the first time I was keeping count on. I looked at the calendar to see when was going to be the actual day that his suspension ended. And Evan Bourne, his suspension is already up. His 60-day suspension from earlier this year is over. It's just that he's probably been doing in-house shows. He's probably been doing dark matches before televised Raw and SmackDown shows. So I guess for Rey Mysterio, he won't be at Extreme Rules, which is this Sunday. He won't be at Over the Limit, which is next month. And he won't be at the June pay-per-view, which is I think late June, I believe. Capital Punishment, the June pay-per-view. So pay-per-view wise, he'll be back in time for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in July. On to the recap. WWE from last week, Friday on SmackDown. I'm going to get to that right now. Let me get this off my chest. Daniel Bryan. I'm on record saying he's a great wrestler. I like Daniel Bryan, the wrestler. But this yes gimmick is getting on my nerves. The yes gimmick is getting on the nerves. I can't take it. It's like the man has been chanting yes, yes, yes since he won the world title back in TLC. And then at WrestleMania, that's when the yes chants finally started caught on. And now, it's all over the place. I find it interesting, there was an article on WWE.com about the yes chant versus the what chant. Notice that the what chants wasn't just Stone Cold Steve Austin. A lot of wrestlers caught the what chants too. So Daniel Bryan's yes chant has a long way to go to be caught on to everybody. John Cena got the yes chants maybe once or twice, but Daniel Bryan gets majority of it. He now has a t-shirt, and in front of it, it says yes, yes, yes. The yes chants is getting on my nerves. I still like Daniel Bryan, the wrestler. I just don't like the yes gimmick. It is getting on my nerves. It is. SmackDown last week saw Orton, Sheamus, and who replaced Great Khali, defeated Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan, and Mark Henry. AJ and Natalya, things kicked off with Daniel Bryan. Talked about his match with Sheamus. He talked about his match versus Sheamus, and things just didn't look good. He went on to say that I wish AJ wasn't even born. And clearly, AJ wasn't mentally ready to deal with Natalya, which is why he lost his why she, lost her damn mind, causing a disqualification. Big Show defeated Alberto Del Rio. Brodus Clay defeated Hunico, a.k.a. Mr. Somebody Better Call His Mama. Oh, and he now got a new buddy. He's got a new sidekick, Hornswoggle. You got the Pterodactyl and the mini Pterodactyl. The Usos lost to the new team of Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. Let me get this straight. You get a Nexus reject in Darren Young. You get an NXT guy, Titus O'Neil, Mr. And yet Derek Bateman still NXT. Johnny Curtis, who by the way won NXT Season 4 last year, and yet he still haven't gotten as much of an opportunity. Now, let's not forget, he was paired with R-Truth right around the time that he started to become a bad guy. He turned into heel right around the time that R-Truth became heel. Johnny Curtis won NXT Season 4. Now it's turned into Redemption, and it's the never-ending show. I thought Redemption was about giving another NXT reject another opportunity, and that's not the case. See, I'm okay with Daniel Bryan being a heel and him being on the mic getting an opportunity. I just don't like him saying yes, yes, yes. You know what he's turning into? The male version of Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. That's what his gimmick has turned into. A male version of Vicky Guerrero. But at least Daniel Bryan is clever. He has some clever moments. But in the end, he's gone from the lapel lock to the yes lock. He's got a yes t-shirt. He changed his finishing move to the yes lock. He's got a t-shirt He's look. Sometimes annoying sells. That's my new saying. Annoying sells. As annoying as the yes gimmick is, it is. It's getting a loud reaction. Hey, as long as you're getting a reaction from the crowd, you keep that gimmick going. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Yeah, but you can't stand Brian's voice. Vicky is too loud and annoying. Good point, Fozzie. Good point. So as I was saying, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young are no longer on NXT. That are moved up to the SmackDown roster. Of course, the current tag team champions are Primo and Epico. Unfortunately, Young and O'Neil are heel. Primo and Epico are heel. And then you got the tag team of the Usos, the good guys. Not sure where they're going with that, but we shall see. Speaking of NXT, NXT alumni and another Nexus reject, Sheffield, who now goes by Ryback. He picked up the win. It's just a matter of when he's going to start taking on the big boys. Got to take on a couple of jobbers, make yourself comfortable. And then when the time is right, he'll take on the big boys. Now on to a recap of Monday Night Raw's 3-hour edition this past week. It started off with a surprise appearance from the Rated R superstar, the now short-haired Rated R superstar Edge. I can't believe that is Edge with the short hair. I can't believe he let the long hair go. He almost looked like Chris Jericho if you take a good look at him. But John Cena has had a rough month. And he's trying to give him a pep talk. He's like, John, it's time for you to wake up, man. This is not the John Cena that it was my greatest rival. This is not the John Cena I know. When I embarrassed your father, you came back and whooped my ass. He trying to give him a pep talk. And Brock Lesnar was a no-show earlier of the show. So Leonidas let Cena know that the press conference was going to take place a little bit later on. That's what happened. But Edge is trying to give Cena a pep talk. And we'll see if John Cena gets the memo and step up to Brock Lesnar this Sunday night. Chris Jericho defeated Kofi Kingston, and after the match, said he's pretty much going to embarrass Punk in front of his hometown of Chicago, Illinois. He's gonna get it done. That's basically what he said. He's trying to force him to drink and, be a drug addict and whatnot. I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, and Eve Torres has a new job. She is now known as the executive administrator courtesy of John Laurinaitis. Now, I can't stand Johnny Ace, but I have to admit, this may be the smartest thing he has ever done since taking over both Raw and SmackDown. Because now you get a female power, maybe kind of like Vicky Guerrero when she was general manager. Maybe like Karen Jarrett from Impact when she had power. That's kind of where Eve Torres is at right now. And you don't show a lot of divas action, so you might as well get the divas to do something else. You might as well. And Eve Torres made an impact this past Monday night prior to the Nikki Bella and Beth Phoenix match for the Divas Championship. Eve Torres made the match into a lumberjack match with the rest of the Divas surrounding the ring. Just when it looked like the Bella Twins was going to do a twin magic, things got out of control. Before I get to that, Beth Phoenix jumped off the ramp and it looked like she hurt her ankle. It looked like she hurt her ankle. People saying that was fake, that's a storyline, while others say that was legit. Me personally, I thought her injured was legit. And then she gets back to the ring, and the ref asked her, "Can you continue?" She said, "My ankle's killing me." And then Nikki Bella rolled over Beth Phoenix and picked up the victory, and she is now the new Divas champion. Now, here's when the Divas situation gets interesting. The Bella Twins contract expires next Monday or Tuesday on April the 30th. So what does this mean? People are assuming that Nikki Bella is going to lose the championship on Monday, and Karma will be making her return. That was 2 days ago, from what a lot of people have told me. And then as of today, Beth Phoenix, all of a sudden, she's cleared to compete, and she will get her rematch at the Divas Championship this Sunday at Extreme Rules. And may I point out, it was at Extreme Rules last year that Karma, formerly known as Amazing Karma, made her WWE debut. I believe she made her debut after Layla versus Michelle Cool, which turned out to be Michelle Cool's final match in her WWE in her wrestling career. She came in, attacked Michelle McCool, and you gotta wonder, with Nikki Bella winning the Divas Championship, is this WWE's way of giving the Bella Twins a parting gift? Like a hi, thanks for being part of the WWE. Now we're gonna want you to get beat up, lose the title, and you will be released of your contract. So one of two things has happened now that Nikki Bella is the new Divas champion. Either she's going to somehow survive Beth Phoenix at Extreme Rules and make it past Monday Night Raw with the championship. Either their contract has been extended, or WWE have something else planned. Or is Karma going to get involved? And maybe, and now that it appears that Beth Phoenix is clear, could this lead to Beth Phoenix winning back the championship? And could this mean that Karma will be making her return? She's only been seen once. She's only been seen once since she made it in 2012. That was the Royal Rumble. And let's not forget, she is 4 or 5 months removed from her baby situation. I said a while back when I first heard of this story, yeah, by the looks of things, yeah, she sold the injury. She sold the injury. She sold the injury, and she's not really that hurt. And the injury is not as bad as people think it is. She's fine, obviously. Otherwise, she would not be competing at Extreme Rules this coming Sunday night. So yeah, she sold the injury. When I looked at it, I thought it was legit. But then when I hear that Beth Phoenix getting her rematch this coming Sunday, yep, she sold the injury. Injury wasn't that as bad as people thought it was. It was all an act, people. That's what wrestling do to people sometimes. Sometimes you think certain things are real, then it turn out to be staged. It happens. No matter what wrestling you watch, pro, indie, things come out of nowhere. So I think it would be. I think if you're really gonna have Karma come back, you might as well make her come back at Extreme Rules, which was the pay-per-view she made her WWE debut last year. Either that or Monday, either Beth Phoenix wins the title or Karma wins the title, and the Bella Twins are gone. contract for the Bella Twins expires on April the 30th. That is Monday. Okay, the pay-per-view is on the 29th. And Raw is on the 30th. And I just saw what you just posted. Maybe Eve was sleeping with John Laurinaitis. Oh my god. Oh. Hey, I wouldn't blame John Laurinaitis if that was the case. And it's funny, she talks about she doesn't want to take control of people with no power. But John Laurinaitis is the most powerful guy in the WWE. Zack Ryder had zero power. He was just Zack Ryder. If it's not legit, believe me, they are going to give Nikki the title so they can have Karma return and take it off her. So yeah, either Beth's going to win the gold or Karma's going to win the gold. Bros befores. So there you go. As I continue, Lord Tensai defeated R-Truth. I am liking this Lord Tensai. It's looking real good right now. It's looking real good. For Lord Tensai, the artist formerly known as Fat Albert or A-Train. How about Paul Bearer making an appearance on the Monday Night Raw? Unfortunately, he was tied up in a wheelchair by Randy Orton inside some freezer, and he was frozen to death. Paul Bearer was frozen. He was like, Kane, help me, Kane. God, I love Paul Bearer's voice. He sounds like he's crying for help every time he talks. Every time he talks, he sounds like he's crying for help. Even if he's talking good, he still sounds like a 911 call ready to happen. Like, oh no, help me! When I think of Paul Bearer, I think of the Great American Bash, Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys. And Paul he was trapped in something with cement, and he was just like, Undertaker, save me! Damn you, Heyman! Screw you! And then when Undertaker did the unthinkable, I could just hear his voice. No! Maybe I should do the rest of the show sound like Paul Bearer, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to you, Fozzy. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that torture. You don't deserve that. Unlikely tall tag team, Big Show and the Great Khali defeated Alberto Del Rio and Cody Rhodes. Let's see. Brodus Clay and Hornswoggle defeated Swagger and Ziggler. It was a sponsor match. Sheamus. Mark Henry defeated Sheamus thanks to Daniel Bryan being the guest referee. And Zack Ryder and Santino Marella defeated the tag team champions Primo and Epico. And then as they were arguing backstage, they got interrupted by a guy named AW. Some of you may know him as Abraham Washington from the ECW brand. He had his own wannabe late night show, Abraham Washington Show. Now he's been with Florida Championship Wrestling as an announcer and a manager. And he's coming back to be a manager. And he's been keeping an eye on people. He wants to be a manager for someone, so we shall see Abraham Washington coming back to the WWE. He's not having a late night show. Don't need to worry about that. He's just going to be a manager. But for who? That's the question. There's not a whole lot of male managers in the WWE. Vicky Guerrero's the only real manager. She's the only real manager. There's no male manager except for the guy who's with Lord Tensai. But we don't know too much about him as of yet. Now, I'm just getting a message from Auburn Thunder. As I mentioned earlier on the show, she has some family problems. And I pretty much gave her the floor if she wanted to call in or not. She's having some family problems. So it looks like I just got a Facebook message from Auburn. And for what she has told me, of course, and her mother passed away as of just moments ago. My thoughts and prayers goes out to Auburn and her family. So, as of this moment, we will not be having an interview scheduled tonight. And I want to send my condolences to the family. Facebook is not allowing me to get to the message so I can send her a message back. Speaking of incidents, Buff Bagwell, Marcus Buff Bagwell, some of you may know him from WCW, WWE, TNA. He was in a car crash a couple of days ago. From what the story I've read, his car flipped over like 9 times, and somehow he is still alive. That is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. My thoughts and prayers go out to Buff Bagwell. I was a fan of Buff Bagwell. I'm a fan of Buff Bagwell. I thought he had the charisma, he had the personality, and I believe he was in WWE one time, but I definitely know he was part of WCW, and he made a short stint at TNA. We talking about after WCW folded. There was a storyline between WWE versus ECW and WCW, and he was part of the alliance. He didn't get a lot of matches then, and didn't get a lot of opportunities after that storyline ended. But I definitely remember him going back to the WCW days. Oh, and check this out. Rocket Man just joined me in the chat room. What's going on, Rocket Man? So the next scheduled interview I have is a wrestler named Marcus Streets. If you are a fan of cruiserweights, high flyers, you don't want to miss it. He's from a wrestling group called Black Wall Street and the Indie Circuit. Marcus Streets will be my guest next week. So for the second week in a row, I don't have an interview. At least this time it's under different circumstances. Auburn Thunder will not be able to call in tonight because of a passing of family members. So my condolences goes out to her family. I'm going to get to the TNA talk in a couple of minutes, and then I will get into my predictions for Extreme Rules. I will get into that. Funny, I never saw him in the Alliance storyline. Maybe he was just wrestling on heat on velocity without it, whatever it was back then. Yeah. So yeah, he had a short stint with the WWE. Uh he had a real short stint. He had even a shorter stint with TNA. Wasn't there for that long. Oh, and happy anniversary to Win. Yesterday marked his 10-year anniversary since he made his WWE debut. Randy Orton is getting old, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and this past Monday was John Cena's birthday. So yeah, John Cena and Randy Orton are the quote-unquote veterans. They're the old guys. Everybody else is like young, man. Ziggler young, Swerve young, Kofi young. Oh, Punk's getting there with age too, but he's been with WWE for 6 years. 5-6 years. But Orton and Cena been there for a decade now. Over a decade. I think Cena came in before Orton though. Ruthless aggression. And definitely Randy Orton debut. Yeah, he definitely debuted right after the Alliance storyline. Cena came in later. So yeah, Orton came in before Cena did. And speaking of Randy Orton, he's got a match scheduled versus Kane at Extreme Rules on how about this? There will be a pre-show for Extreme Rules this Sunday starting at 7:30. It's going to be Santino Marella versus The Miz for the United States Championship. It's going to be at the pre-show. You won't be able to see it on TV if you purchase it. You only get to see it on WWE's YouTube page, youtube.com/WWE. So how about this, ladies and gentlemen? The Miz, the man who picked up the victory at WrestleMania, causing John Laurinaitis to be the man in charge. And yet, what's his reward? A shot at the United States Championship at the pay-per-view pre-show. That is pathetic. That is pathetic. If I'm the Miz, I'm insulted. I'm not a Miz fan. I am insulted. Okay, he was the one around talking about he's the must-see WWE champion of all time. That is pathetic. Okay, it's one thing to go up against Santino, but now you gotta do it at the pre-show. You only get to see it on YouTube. You're not gonna see it on TV if you were to purchase the pay-per-view. But at least you get to see that portion for free, just as long as you got internet connection. That's all that matters. If you got internet connection, you're good. When you order it, you're only gonna see Scott Stanford. You're only gonna see Scott Stanford. Oh man, that's just sad. I will get to my pay-per-view picks in about 10 minutes till the top of the hour, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, on to TNA Impact, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk Hogan made a big announcement last week, and the announcement is that there is going to be a new segment called Open Fight Night, which means any wrestler from the indie circuit can go out there and get an opportunity at TNA Wrestling. Translation, you won't be seeing a lot of old guys from TNA for very long. You won't be seeing a lot of old guys. And there's a new competition for TNA called TNA Gut Check. It's like their version of Tough Enough. They looking for the next big wrestler. Um, I'm not sure if it's going to be televised or not, but what I do know is that they are looking for the next big wrestler. And Hulk Hogan wants the fans to tweet him who of the indie wrestlers you would like to see compete. Now remember, folks, Ohio Valley Wrestling is still the developmental territory for TNA. So, and they've been the official territory for 6 months. And yet you have yet to see anyone from OVW on TNA television. And maybe now that this announcement has been made, maybe the Johnny Spades, the Rudy Switchblades, the Shiloh Jones, Jamie Olivencia, maybe the young guys of Ohio Valley Wrestling will finally get the opportunity they so deserve. Because, like any other company, you got to build for the future. You can't keep relying on the elderly. No. Well, here's what I do know when it comes to Hulk Hogan, brother. He is no longer a full-time wrestler. He is now the general manager of TNA Impact. And he's getting paid a lot of money. He's getting paid more than anyone on the roster. So, you're not going to pay a guy a lot of money by sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. You're not going to pay a guy that much money and him not doing nothing. Hell, anyone can be a general manager and act like I'm taking over. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. You don't have to wrestle that much. Better yet, in Hulk Hogan's case, he don't have to wrestle at all. Let's not forget the last time he was in the ring, Bound for Glory last year. The guy could barely move. I have a lot of respect for Hulk Hogan for putting wrestling on the map. But we play in this what have you done lately? But you're old, you barely can move, you barely can take a hit, you barely can body slam anybody, you barely can keep up with the young guns. So if he's not going to be a wrestler, he's gonna and get paid that much money, you better have him do something. He could be an announcer, he could be a commentator, or in this case, he can be a guy in charge. You're not going to pay a guy so much money and him not doing nothing. So the next best thing for Hulk Hogan is he being a general manager. Now, as far as Falconman feels that this whole gut check thing is copying WWE, I don't care what they do. You need young talent. You have a developmental territory. You have OVW waiting for talent to get their shine in the main roster. Okay? You got a lot of wrestlers who I believe have passed their prime. You got Kurt Angle unable to compete at the Olympics. You got a lot of people that's dying for an opportunity. You have a developmental territory for a reason. I understand you don't immediately go to the TNA roster right away, but OVW's been the territory for a while now. Oh, and Fozzy, congratulations on your new job, and you have a good night, man. You have a good night. On to the rest of TNA recap. Let's see here. Mickey James, Velvet Sky, and Tara and Brooke defeated Sarita, Rosita, Madison Wayne, and Gail Kim. Devon pick up the victory. Let's see. Flair, and remember, one of the funny things about Impact last week was, of course, at the last pay-per-view, Garrett Bischoff's team defeated Eric Bischoff's team, which means with the stipulation, Eric Bischoff is no longer on TNA and Impact, and he can no longer use the name Eric Bischoff. He can no longer use the Bischoff name. And every time when someone trying to mention his name got bleeped by the censor folks. Trying to keep up. I just think that's ridiculous. But hey, you gotta go with the storyline. And if it means censoring Bischoff on national television, then so be it. RVD defeated Anderson and Hardy, while Van Dam made his return on the last pay-per-view, and now he's the new number one contender for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Kurt Angle defeated AJ Styles. Crimson and Bully Ray defeated Austin Aries and Matt Morgan. So there you go. Not much. Oh, and another announcement is that in addition to this new open fight night for TNA Wrestling, he wants to hear from fans on when which champion do they want him to defend it? Do they want to defend the gold on Impact? So you can send him a tweet, send, I guess, Dixie Carter a tweet as well. Let them know. At least TNA is starting to be about the people. Get the fans involved in the shows. Even though we all know they are taped. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think I went through everything here. And now that I've gone through everything on TNA, I can now go ahead and make my pay-per-view picks. I'm going to go ahead and make my pay-per-view picks for WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view starting right now. And we're going to start off with the pre-show. 7:30 p.m. on WWE's YouTube page. It will be Santina Marella defending the United States Championship against The Miz. Now, this is supposed to be a pay-per-view where every single match is under Extreme Rules. This will not be an Extreme Rules match, just a regular match. Now, Santino Marella's been champion for a while. Remember, he's under the Teddy Long umbrella when he was in charge. And, of course, it was The Miz. Like I said, he got the pinfall for Team Johnny at WrestleMania, picking up the victory, causing John Laurinaitis to become the most powerful man in the WWE. And you haven't seen much from Miz since WrestleMania. And he was asked by fans why you haven't been on TV since WrestleMania. He's telling people to be patient, wait, be patient. Be patient. And now the good news, The Miz making his return. The bad news, at least for this Sunday, you only get to see him on YouTube. So, I'm going to go and say that The Miz becomes the new United States champion. That is my pick. The Miz to be your new United States champion. That will mean that The Miz will win the U.S. championship for the second time of his career. On to the next match. This was added to the card as of today. Rey Mysterio's suspension wasn't the only big story for WWE today. Nikki Bella, the new Divas champion, won't have time to celebrate too much, as she is now scheduled to defend the gold against Beth Phoenix. According to WWE, they checked the injury. It's not that severe, which means she sold on the injury this past Monday night. She's not as hurt as people say she is. And let's not forget, the Bella Twins contract expired next Monday on the Raw After Extreme Rules this coming Monday. So either the Bella Twins are going to lose, either Nikki's going to lose the title this Sunday, or she's going to lose it on Monday. Beth Phoenix is going to become the new Divas champion. I'm going to say, yeah, that's my pick. My pay-per-view pick right there. I'm saying Beth Phoenix is going to bounce back. She's going to be the new champion. And I say that maybe Nikki will get a rematch on the Bella's last night on the contract. They lose, and then Karma makes her return. So yeah. So we really gonna find out for sure if the Bellas are gonna stay or have signed an extension with the WWE, or they're leaving for good. I think if that's the case, then what happened this past Monday night was a go-away card. Was a thank you for being with the WWE. We'll let the other twin win the championship. And we'll let the other diva win the championship. And then you lose it at Extreme Rules on Monday Night Raw, and your contract is up. On to the next match. Intercontinental title is on the line. Big Show taking on Cody Rhodes. Of course, this is a WrestleMania rematch. Big Show pick up his first WrestleMania singles match victory at the expense of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is invoking his rematch clause, so he has a chance to win the gold back. But I think Big Show's going to get it done. The world's largest athlete, I say Big Show will retain the Intercontinental Championship. Next up, Kane versus Randy Orton. This will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. Randy Orton celebrates his 10-year anniversary yesterday, and he gets to keep his career going up against Kane. Of course, this is another WrestleMania rematch. Kane defeated Randy Orton at WrestleMania, so I expect the Legend Killer, the Viper, to get his measure of revenge and defeat Kane. I think this may be the end of the rivalry right there. I'm going to go with Randy Orton, especially just days after his 10-year anniversary in the WWE. Now we get to the last three matches here. Sheamus takes on Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship. Best 2 out of 3 falls. So you could win 2 of the 3 falls. You could win 2 of the 3 falls either by pinfall, submission, count out, or no disqualification. And just for fun, I'm going to say who wins the fall. I'm going to say that Daniel Bryan wins the first pinfall. I say Sheamus will win the second fall. And I'm going to say that Sheamus wins the third fall and he retains the World Heavyweight Championship, fella. The Great White, Sheamus, I pick to retain the gold this Sunday night at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Next up, in what a lot of people fear should be the main event, but it's not. It's the semi-main event, as I like to say. CM Punk taking on Chris Jericho in a Chicago street fight for the WWE title. Another WrestleMania rematch. I'm going to go with Chris Jericho. Remember, CM Punk won the WWE Championship at his hometown, Money in the Bank, last year in the same building in Chicago, Illinois. I say Punk's going to be on the losing end. If he can win the WWE Championship last year, then he can lose the belt. It happens. People win at home in their hometowns and they lose in their hometowns. It happens. I think, and remember, Punk defeated Jericho at WrestleMania. I say that Punk is going to lose to Jericho. Jericho will be your new WWE champion. And the main event, making his WWE in-ring return, it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena in an Extreme Rules match. Cena lost to The Rock at WrestleMania. At first, I thought Brock Lesnar. I want to lean towards Brock Lesnar. But because of Edge coming out on Monday, giving Cena that pep talk, giving him that much needed kick in the ass to get his mind right, I'm gonna go with John Cena to defeat Brock Lesnar in his WWE in-ring return. The Chain Gang will be live in effect this Sunday night. And those are my pay-per-view picks for Extreme Rules. I will be going to Andrew's house and watching the pay-per-view. I want to thank everyone for listening, listening to the show. Next week, I have indie pro wrestler Marcus Streets will be on the show. Thank you to Fozzy, to Wakaman, and everyone else that's listening. We'll see you next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central. I am your host, Kenny C., and I am out. You all have a good night.